Pleiadians, the hidden spiritual secret to enlightenment, greetings once more, my dearest companions on this journey. I am Ten Han, hailing from the luminous star system of Maya, your dedicated messenger, having traversed the celestial pathways, has specifically requested our assistance today in guiding the star seeds among you, those awakening souls on Earth, to practically and effectively ascend to their next destined stage of spiritual evolution. It is with profound intention and heartfelt commitment that we dedicate this entire transmission to fulfilling that sacred request. Beloved ones, as you earnestly embark upon this profound spiritual odyssey and dedicate yourselves as sincere practitioners of this transformative path, it is absolutely imperative that you fully comprehend the radical distinction the truths you are now embracing stand in stark opposition to, and indeed fundamentally diverge from, nearly every foundational tenet traditionally disseminated by the established, organized religious frameworks of the Western world. If this crucial understanding remains elusive, your progress in genuine spiritual work will, regrettably, be minimal and significantly impeded. Indeed, conventional Western religious doctrine, in its very essence, primarily offers a collection of abstract, intellectual statements, a rigid array of dogmas, theological theories, and prescriptive rules. Crucially, it fails to furnish a tangible, experiential methodology for truly transcending the confines of the ordinary human mind and its inherent limitations. In vivid contrast, this profound path of spiritual awakening commences with a fundamental, revolutionary principle to genuinely advance and unlock higher states of being. You must consciously venture beyond the realm of mere intellectual understanding. This is precisely why the sacred practice of meditation was imparted to humanity as such an absolutely vital, foundational discipline. While largely unfamiliar or even entirely absent within the mainstream of Western religious life, meditation stands as the singular, most reliable and effective pathway to attain the elevated state of fourth-dimensional spiritual consciousness. You simply cannot hope to access or embody this elevated state of higher consciousness solely through the laborious processes of logical reasoning, academic study, or intellectual analysis. While it is true that a select, rare few may indeed be touched by a profound, spontaneous influx of divine grace without any conscious prior seeking on their part, such extraordinary cases are undeniably the exception, not the rule. For the vast majority of sincere seekers, the most secure, consistent, and dependable path to authentic spiritual awakening remains the diligent and regular practice of meditation. It is through the consistent and dedicated practice of meditation that you consciously initiate a profound turning inward, allowing you to establish direct, intimate contact with a far deeper, more expansive dimension of your very own being. This profound internal connection, in turn, intrinsically opens and elevates your consciousness, granting you access to the boundless, sacred realm of the Creator. Indeed, many ages past, a revered and enlightened master sagely declared, "The kingdom of the Creator resides within you." With profound wisdom, he counseled humanity not to embark on arduous external quests seeking this sacred domain in majestic mountains or ornate temples, for it is neither physically here nor tangibly there in the observable, external world. Instead, he unequivocally affirmed that its true dwelling place is deep within the very essence of your own being, an intrinsic part of your inner reality. Regrettably, however, the precise, actionable methods and practical techniques for truly discovering and accessing this inner kingdom were not openly or systematically preserved within the canonical Western scriptures. Consequently, for countless centuries, sincere seekers knew the profound instruction to seek the inner kingdom as a divine mandate. Yet they remained largely devoid of the concrete how-to guidance necessary to actually embark upon and successfully navigate that sacred internal journey. It is highly probable that this revered master himself drew from ancient, profound mystical traditions involving sustained periods of profound prayer and deep, introspective contemplation as the means to achieve divine union. Yet, tragically, such invaluable teachings were either gradually lost to the sands of time or deliberately concealed from the wider populace. It was, therefore, a truly significant revelation in modern times to joyfully rediscover and reestablish that meditation, in its essence, is indeed the direct and most potent pathway to this sacred inner communion. This profound realization, when it first dawned, undoubtedly came as a considerable surprise to countless individuals in the Western world, many of whom had never before even remotely encountered or deeply considered the concept of meditation. Nevertheless, consistent and sincere practice unfailingly demonstrates its verifiable truth. Meditation directly facilitates an immediate, profound realization of the innermost divine source. It brilliantly unveils the kingdom of the Creator at sublime state of heightened spiritual consciousness that has, in fact, always resided, eternally present, deep within the core of your very being. Naturally, for those earnest in their pursuit, the fundamental and pressing question invariably arises: how, precisely, does one effectively engage in meditation and successfully initiate this crucial process of turning inward? An exceptionally effective and accessible approach involves the practice of contemplative meditation. To begin, find a peaceful place where you can sit undisturbed in complete silence. Gently close your eyes, allowing your external vision to recede, and with exquisite tenderness, draw your attention inward. You might choose to hold a sacred word or a profound spiritual thought, such as the resonant word source, or perhaps a deeply inquisitive question like, what truly is the inherent nature of the Creator residing within me? And then softly, without intellectual analysis, reflect upon it. It is crucial to understand that during this practice, you're explicitly not engaging in analytical thought processes with your logical intellect. Instead, your profound purpose is to gently open and expand your inner awareness, allowing it to become receptive. Furthermore, it is profoundly important that throughout these sacred moments of inner communion, you diligently refrain from permitting your mind to drift or wander into concerns about everyday problems, mundane tasks, or any external events. Your singular focus should be to simply and purely contemplate a spiritual truth, allowing it to resonate within your deepest being. Through diligent and consistent practice, you will observe a remarkable transformation. Your often restless and agitated mind will gradually, yet steadily, begin to calm, giving way to the development of a profound inner stillness. As time progresses and your practice deepens, those previously racing and insistent thoughts will gracefully settle, gently dissolving into a serene and pervasive state of deep peace. It is vital to cultivate a patient and understanding perspective, recognizing unequivocally that this journey is a gradual process, not an instant destination. You should, therefore, temper any expectations of your mind becoming perfectly silent and entirely devoid of thought, or of receiving an immediate, grand revelation during your very first meditation session. Such profound experiences typically unfold over time. Consider, for instance, the inspiring example of one great master who reportedly did not perceive even the faintest inner response or subtle impression until after many dedicated months of daily, consistent meditation. And even then, that initial perception was merely a delicate, ephemeral impression. The crucial takeaway is this: do not, under any circumstances, allow yourself to become disheartened by what might initially seem like a lack of immediate, dramatic results. Rest assured, however, that you're highly unlikely to need to wait for such an extended period to begin witnessing discernible progress. If you commence with brief, manageable sessions, perhaps dedicating just 3 to 5 minutes at a time, practice several times throughout your day, and then progressively and gently increase either the frequency or the duration of these sessions, you will undeniably begin to observe tangible results. Indeed, after even a relatively short period of such dedicated effort, your mind will naturally and spontaneously begin to quiet itself. In those precious moments of profound inner calm and quietude that begin to emerge, you may gently articulate inwardly, "Speak, O divine source. Your devoted servant is now listening with an open heart," and then simply cultivate a state of receptive openness, awaiting whatever may unfold. As you continue this practice over time, and precisely when the timing is divinely perfect, some discernible form of profound response or insightful guidance will invariably manifest within your consciousness. This divine communication may present itself in various ways as clear, inner words as a sudden, enveloping sensation of deep peace as an overwhelming wave of unconditional love or sublime grace, or perhaps as an undeniable, strong, intuitive knowing. It could also manifest as a distinct, clear inner voice or a vivid mental image. Indeed, there exist an infinite multitude of ways in which the inner message and profound wisdom of the Creator can reveal itself within your consciousness. However, whenever it genuinely arrives, it unfailingly brings with it an undeniable sense of absolute certainty and deep, abiding comfort and intrinsic assurance that the living, vibrant presence of the Creator is powerfully active and intimately engaged in that precise moment. You gain an unshakable, profound knowing deep within your core that the divine presence is indeed actively working on your behalf, orchestrating circumstances for your highest good. And once you have been blessed with such a profound inner experience, you will subsequently discover tangible confirmation manifesting through external signs or auspicious fruits that naturally follow, perhaps a miraculous healing, a harmonious resolution to a long-standing challenge, or a remarkable synchronicity that unfolds in your external reality. This consistent pattern serves as your invaluable means of truly learning and affirming that you have, without a doubt, made genuine contact with the sacred inner source. Always bear this profound truth in mind. It is exclusively through this dedicated inner practice that the gateways to higher consciousness will progressively and majestically open themselves to you. The entirety of the spiritual path you so passionately speak of and earnestly pursue is utterly contingent upon your attaining some discernible degree of this transcendent, fourth-dimensional source consciousness. Without this direct experiential contact, you may well possess a multitude of inspiring and intellectually stimulating ideas, yet these will regrettably remain confined to the realm of mere philosophy, never fully blossoming into a vibrant, living reality. It is precisely the actual, tangible contact and communion with this higher consciousness that transmutes these profound teachings from abstract theoretical concepts into a dynamic, practical, and truly transformative way of life. Throughout the unfolding years, numerous potent and specific spiritual principles have been carefully articulated and lovingly provided to guide earnest seekers. These profound insights having been meticulously drawn from decades of deep, lived spiritual experience. These invaluable principles are designed to comprehensively address virtually every conceivable type of issue or challenging problem that a dedicated student might encounter on their sacred journey. When these principles are consistently and consciously practiced, they serve as powerful anchors, helping to steadfastly maintain you in a state of inner peace until such time as you yourself attain the elevated consciousness that intrinsically produces visible, external harmony in your life. Furthermore, diligently working with and embodying each individual principle profoundly develops your spiritual awareness and incrementally draws you closer to a direct, undeniable experience of fourth-dimensional consciousness. To offer a vivid illustration of how a spiritual principle effectively operates within your reality, let us consider the profound statement illness, in its ultimate reality, possesses no true inherent power. If you were to publicly declare this truth to a random gathering of individuals, it is highly probable that many would react with dismissive scoffing, perhaps pointing to the undeniable presence of hospitals and cemeteries as seemingly irrefutable proof that illness is, quite obviously, an immensely powerful force. And indeed, from a purely human, material level of perception, their observations would appear to be undeniably correct. From the perspective of ordinary human experience, illness often appears undeniably real and formidable, a force to be reckoned with. Therefore, as a dedicated practitioner or teacher on this path, your primary and most profound responsibility is, in fact, to your own state of consciousness. The greatest, most potent gift you can possibly offer others is the very quality of light and love that you, yourself, embody. This inherently means that your primary focus must perpetually remain on attaining and continuously maintaining the highest possible level of spiritual consciousness that you can achieve. And as we have emphatically stressed throughout these teachings, the only authentic way to achieve and sustain that elevated state is through the diligent discipline of regular meditation and the daily, conscious living of these timeless principles. There is absolutely no shortcut, no substitute for this direct path. Simply reading more books, engaging in endless intellectual discussions, accumulating vast amounts of theoretical knowledge, or performing external rituals will not, by themselves, directly raise your consciousness to the required level. While these activities may support you to a certain degree, true, profound transformation ultimately happens in the sacred silence of communion with the Source and in the actual, living practice of truth in the dynamic canvas of daily life. Regarding rituals and ceremonies, merely participating in them, or conversely, choosing not to, does not, in itself, directly cause spiritual realization. Indeed, Many profoundly enlightened beings engage in very few, if any, external rites or ceremonies. Yet curiously, once you consciously carry the Spirit's awakened consciousness within you, you become capable of appreciating the inherent beauty and symbolic meaning in all rituals, without ever being bound or limited by them. You may attend a temple ceremony or a church service and find yourself deeply moved not because the external form possesses inherent power in itself, but precisely because you bring the sacred, awakened presence with you into that space. The external form or structure matters very little in the grand scheme of things. You experience the omnipresent, singular Spirit as being present everywhere. A magnificent sacred building or an elaborate ritual does not, on its own, create holiness. It is the awakened consciousness of the people gathered within that space that truly sanctifies any location or action. As it is so often profoundly stated, the temple does not consecrate the person, rather, the person consecrates the temple. So, wherever you may go, in a tranquil forest, a quiet room, a bustling street, a revered mosque, or a grand cathedral, always remember that you perpetually carry the Creator's luminous light within your very being. Through your awakened consciousness, you possess the profound ability to transform any place into a sacred sanctuary. Your inner meditation and heartfelt devotion are the true conduits that bring the Spirit's presence into all settings and circumstances. Always remember that your primary, overarching role is to diligently maintain this fourth-dimensional consciousness to uphold and preserve this high, sacred connection, and then allow the Spirit to do its divine work through you. The healing or the blessing that miraculously occurs is fundamentally the Source's activity, the Creator's benevolent action, not the performance of your personal ego. Yet, it is crucial to note that it occurs precisely through you as a willing and conscious instrument. There exists a delicate and profound balance here. You may often, and rightly so, say, "Of myself I could do nothing." The inner Creator does all the work. This statement is absolutely, unequivocally true, reflecting profound humility. But it is equally true that the inner Creator needs a willing, receptive instrument through which to express its boundless power and love. If a practitioner were to simply tell someone, "I did nothing, the Creator did everything," the person seeking help might reasonably wonder why they needed the practitioner's presence at all. The underlying reality is that without the practitioner's receptive, attuned consciousness, the healing or the insight might not have manifested in that moment. It was precisely because someone aligned with the Source was present that the divine power could manifest and flow effectively. Think of it using the analogy of electricity and a lamp. The lamp alone, without an electrical current, gives no light whatsoever. But electricity alone, without a lamp as a conduit, cannot effectively illuminate a space. Both are intrinsically needed for light to appear. The Creator is the infinite power, the boundless electricity. You are the clear channel, the instrument, the lamp through which that divine power radiantly shines into the world. Therefore, meticulously avoid falling into either extreme, neither the trap of egoistically thinking you are the miracle worker, nor the pitfall of falsely humble piety by denying your vital role entirely. Recognize with clarity and grace that you, as a conscious, dedicated, and willing being, are a profoundly vital vessel for the divine. Remain humble and deeply devoted, always knowing that the ultimate glory belongs solely to the Creator. Yet, simultaneously, remain willing and profoundly aware that you have been lovingly chosen as a vessel for that magnificent glory, a conduit for its expression. With this balanced perspective firmly established, you will also come to deeply understand why different people respond in remarkably different ways to spiritual assistance. Not everyone you work with will open up in the same manner or at the same pace. As we discussed earlier, much depends on their individual receptivity, their inner readiness, and their unique spiritual journey. What you simply cannot force, what you can do, is to remain faithfully attuned to the highest consciousness you're capable of reaching, and then to implicitly trust the inner spirit to accomplish the rest of the transformation work in its perfect timing. We have seen, time and again, how an individual's openness makes all the profound difference. For example, in an ancient, beloved story, a woman caught in the act of adultery was brought before a spiritual master. Many who observed saw only her perceived sin and an ordinary man standing before them. But she, with her heart's eye, perceived something far greater as sacred, luminous light radiating from him precisely because she recognized the Spirit's profound presence in someone whom others despised and condemned. He could then, with divine authority, tell her, "Your sins are forgiven," and she was instantly and completely freed, both inwardly and outwardly. Similarly, one of the thieves agonizingly crucified beside Jesus did not perceive just another condemned man, but rather recognized the sacred, divine light emanating from the one beside him. And to him, Jesus promised entry into paradise that very day. In both these profound cases, it was an inner recognition, a spiritual receptivity that allowed divine grace to operate powerfully and manifest miraculous freedom. In poignant contrast, many individuals approach a spiritual practitioner seeking only immediate relief from a physical illness or a pressing worldly problem, often with little to no genuine interest in the deeper spiritual aspect of their condition. They might impatiently say, "Just get rid of this for me," caring very little about the underlying reasons why or the profound spiritual mechanics of how the healing occurs. Often, such cases prove to be particularly challenging, precisely because true, lasting healing is never truly separate from the deeper process of consciousness illumination. Indeed, I vividly recall a real-life example of a woman who sought help for a disabling physical condition. She had been rigorously taught by her religious upbringing that she was fundamentally unworthy a worm of the dust, as she would often lament. When lovingly told that she was, in truth, a cherished spiritual daughter of the Creator, she adamantly refused to accept this liberating truth. For weeks, despite consistent silent prayer offered on her behalf, her condition showed no discernible improvement. Then, one day, by a sudden twist of fate, she slipped unexpectedly on an icy sidewalk. In that terrifying moment of fright, she instinctively shouted to those rushing to her aid, a primal cry emerging from the depths of her being, transcending her ingrained beliefs and rationalizations, a pure expression of her fundamental, undeniable connection to the divine, revealing an inner spark that had simply been dormant, waiting for such an unexpected, urgent call to awaken. To help her, she vehemently declared, "Don't touch me. I am a daughter of the Creator." Perhaps those words initially escaped her lips without conscious thought, a spontaneous outburst. Yet in that audacious proclamation of an intrinsic, undeniable truth and profound shift finally occurred within her very core. From that pivotal moment onward, the debilitating pain and the confining disability that had plagued her for so long completely vanished, leaving no trace. It was only at the precise instant she authentically recognized the sacred, immutable truth of her own divine being that genuine, transformative healing could fully manifest within her experience. Consequently, when you find yourself ministering to an individual who seems hesitant or slow to embrace the aid you offer, it is imperative to cultivate a deep well of patience. Steadfastly maintain your inner composure and anchor yourself firmly in the profound truth you carry within your own spirit. Comprehend that true, holistic healing or complete personal transformation is profoundly intricate and cannot fully materialize until they, at some intrinsic level of their being, awaken to and recognize the luminous light of the source residing within themselves. Initially, they might perceive and acknowledge this divine radiance reflected in you, the compassionate practitioner, but eventually, their journey will lead them to the profound realization that this very light intrinsically dwells within them as well. Regardless of the path, their innermost consciousness must ultimately unfurl and open itself to this liberating realization. This journey is never merely a sterile, intellectual exercise or a purely cognitive understanding. Rather, it demands the ignition of an authentic spark of spiritual awareness, a felt sense of the sacred. Recall the timeless scriptural account. The enlightened Master Yeshua posed a quintessential question to his closest disciples. Who do you say that I am? Many offered responses rooted in mere hearsay, popular opinion, or inherited religious doctrine, but a single disciple, Peter, responded with extraordinary spiritual penetration. You are the Anointed One, the beloved Son of the living God. The Master then declared that this profound insight was a revelation bestowed by the indwelling Spirit, not a lesson acquired from any human instructor or learned through conventional means. And upon that unshakable bedrock of spiritual realization that illuminated understanding, the true spiritual community, the authentic ecclesia, would be meticulously constructed. It was only when Peter received that instantaneous flash of divine illumination that he could truly embody the firm and steadfast rock upon which such a foundation could be laid. Similarly, those individuals whom you compassionately assist must experience their own personal revelatory illumination of truth before profound, complete, and enduring healing can genuinely take root and flourish. Ultimately, it is crucial to grasp that true spiritual healing transcends the superficial manipulation of physical symptoms or the fervent pleas directed at an external deity to orchestrate changes. Numerous approaches throughout history have inadvertently led sincere seekers astray by instrumentalizing the Creator as a mere means to resolve immediate human problems, rather than genuinely seeking a profound awakening of consciousness. Our approach, in stark contrast, is consistently focused on awakening to the omnipresent reality of the Source's presencito elevate and expand consciousness itself. The healing of the physical body or the harmonious resolution of worldly affairs is not a separate, isolated miracle to be begged for while one's inner state remains unaltered. Rather, it is a natural, organic consequence of that very awakening. In essence, there exists no genuine spiritual healing that is distinct or separate from a fundamental, transformative shift in consciousness. All authentic healing is, at its core, a revelation of spiritual reality unveiling itself within consciousness, which then effortlessly dissolves the illusory appearance of discord, illness, or lack. If an individual remains firmly entrenched in a purely materialistic worldview, the prevalent three-dimensional perception, then even if one problem is momentarily rectified, another will inevitably manifest, because the underlying state of consciousness, the root cause, has remained fundamentally unchanged. However, if that person even for a fleeting instant accesses a higher state of consciousness, if the radiant light of the source penetrates their awareness, then anything that does not truly belong to their divine nature, illness, scarcity, or conflict, can be permanently dissipated and transcendently dissolved. Therefore, when you minister to others, our primary objective is not to merely fix their human problems as an end in themselves. Our paramount goal is to subtly and silently, or at times outwardly, elevate their inner vision to embrace a higher truth, the magnificent truth of their own inherent divine nature. In other words, our sacred work is to facilitate the rising of the Creator's Son within their own being, that is, to gently guide them toward awakening to their own intrinsic, eternal spiritual self. You understand implicitly that once they make genuine contact with that inner, luminous light, it will autonomously undertake the real, transformative work. If they can authentically feel in their own unique way that the divine presence is truly and intimately here with me, then that very awakened consciousness will spontaneously begin to dismantle and eliminate the perceived problem. They might later articulate this experience by saying, "The Creator healed me," or "I finally discovered profound peace." But what has actually transpired is that their illuminated consciousness has effectively dissipated the illusion of discord, revealing the underlying harmony. The specific terminology or cultural framework employed to describe this awakening is ultimately inconsequential. One individual might conceptualize it as a profound union with the Creator. Another might refer to it as realizing their inherent Buddha nature. Yet another might simply describe it as a moment of profound enlightenment or a gentle touch of grace. All these expressions are but diverse articulations of the same singular, unifying essence. The awakened mind of the Buddha and the mind that resided within Jesus the Christ, as you refer to it, are not distinct or separate phenomena. Both refer to that same illuminated consciousness that intimately knows its indivisible oneness with the originating source. Consequently, in this sacred work, you are not seeking to convert anyone to a different religion, dogma, or belief system. You are serving as a facilitator for an awakening that transcends all labels, creeds, and superficial distinctions. Whether someone identifies as Christian, Buddhist, Hindu, or nothing in particular becomes utterly irrelevant when the Spirit profoundly touches and awakens them. Once true enlightenment dawns, that individual is simply a pure child of the Creator, fully aware and embraced by their true, divine heritage. Indeed, when you yourself live from an enlightened state of being, you discover with exquisite clarity that you cannot be confined or limited by narrow, sectarian identities. You perceive and honor truth resonating within all authentic spiritual traditions, yet you remain bound to none. You realize in the profound depths of your heart that the Creator is truly universal and cannot be limited or contained by any single creed, doctrine, or exclusive path. In that expansive consciousness, you can commune with the same ease and depth with a mystic from a seemingly different faith as you can with someone from your own background. For the fundamental common ground is the radiant, unifying light of the Spirit itself. To encapsulate this culminating teaching, the entire profound secret of this spiritual path lies in attaining genuine spiritual enlightenment. In the very moment higher consciousness awakens within you, you have, in essence, arrived at the true, auspicious beginning of life lived in the Spirit. Subsequently, your life will flow with an entirely new, vibrant power. You will no longer feel as though you are struggling in isolation. The luminous light of the Source itself will go before you, illuminating your path, and will encompass you completely, a protective embrace. It becomes the radiant light of the world, shining brightly through your very being, the living bread that ceaselessly nourishes both you and those around you, the living water that profoundly quenches all spiritual thirst. You, as a distinct individual, become increasingly transparent, meaning your egoic self gracefully steps aside and recedes. And what remains is the pristine, undeniable presence of the divine, effortlessly shining forth through every action you undertake, every word you utter. Yet, paradoxically, in this heightened state, you do not forfeit your unique individuality. Instead, you truly discover your authentic, inherent individuality. You come to intimately know that this effulgent light residing at your deepest center is, in fact, your own true self. It is the very I of you, the identical I that is eternally one with the Creator. Remember this profound, liberating truth. I and the Creator are one. In enlightenment, you realize with absolute clarity that the small, personal self with which you had previously identified is not, in fact, the true you. The true I of you is intrinsically one with the boundless source of all existence. Thus, the sacred presence or spirit that undertakes this transformative work is not something separate or external to you. It is your own higher being. Your I am united seamlessly with the Source. Therefore, when you allow the Spirit to operate through you, you are in reality permitting your own true, divine self to express itself effortlessly and authentically. You do not need to attempt to direct it with limited human thought, egoic will, or strenuous effort. It inherently knows precisely what to do and how to do it. It functions perfectly in deep silence and profound peace. So whenever you aspire to be a genuine blessing to others, whether individually or collectively, your primary role is to become still, mentally step aside from your egoic impulses, and simply allow the I am presence to flow freely and spontaneously through you as it wills. The transformative results of such deep alignment will manifest in forms perfectly tailored and suited to the unique needs of each recipient. It is as if the one unifying spirit speaks all the diverse languages of human need. To one person, it may translate as profound physical healing to another, as deep emotional comfort or the grace of forgiveness to yet another, as an inspired, clarifying idea that resolves a pressing problem or a sudden, dramatic improvement in their circumstances. Externally, it appears as though each person receives a distinct and different blessing, but inwardly, it is always the same boundless love, the same radiant light of the primordial Creator meeting each soul precisely where they are and providing exactly what is needed for their highest good. Beloveds, as you steadfastly continue on this sacred path, hold these luminous truths closely within your heart. You are here, on this earthly journey, to awaken fully to the source dwelling within you, to live by the illuminating guidance of that inner light, and to radiate its silent, transformative presence to all others. In doing so, you fulfill your highest purpose and contribute immeasurably to the elevation and upliftment of all humanity. You become a radiant beacon in this world, not through force, manipulation, or ostentatious fanfare, but through the simple, authentic presence of an enlightened soul. This is your magnificent destiny and your most precious gift as you realize and embody the inner creator. In this sacred, universal light, remain steadfast and resolute as citizens of the cosmos filled with an abiding peace, eternally empowered and utterly free. We are with you always until our next transmission of truth. I'm 10 for Maya, but the deeper, more profound truth reveals something entirely different in the radiant and all-encompassing presence of higher spiritual consciousness. Illness utterly loses all of its perceived power. Within the sacred, transcendent realm of the Creator, the conventional, so-called laws governing material existence simply do not operate in the same limiting fashion as they do in your earthly dimension. This very truth explains why, for a profound example, an enlightened master of the caliber of Jesus could confidently declare to a paralyzed man, "Rise and walk," and the man, infused by the sheer radiance and power of such elevated source consciousness, immediately stood up and walked. What was previously deemed absolutely incurable was miraculously healed. The perceived physical condition, when confronted with such divine presence, literally held no power whatsoever. Just as profound darkness naturally and effortlessly dissolves and vanishes in the illuminating presence of light, so too do the myriad ills and discordant conditions of the world utterly dissolve and dissipate in the all-encompassing, purifying presence of the Source's radiant light. Now, take a moment to deeply consider the profound significance of the fact that you have been drawn in this very moment to a teaching of such an extraordinary and transformative nature. If these profound ideas genuinely capture your interest and resonate deeply, awakening a nascent recognition within your soul, it is because you have already, perhaps unknowingly, been touched inwardly by the benevolent spirit, even if only in the most subtle and gentle manner. Without that indispensable inner spark, a purely worldly-minded individual, entirely steeped in material concerns, would discover absolutely nothing useful, attractive, or compelling within these spiritual truths. The undeniable fact that this spiritual path resonates so deeply and harmoniously within your being is a clear indicator that, to a significant extent, you have indeed been divinely called. It is, moreover, frequently articulated in wisdom teachings that one does not truly choose a spiritual path in the conventional sense. Rather, it is the path itself, or more precisely, the divine grace that ultimately chooses and beckons you. The boundless grace of the primordial Creator was already powerfully at work within the depths of your being long before you consciously recognized or acknowledged its sacred presence. And it was this very grace that gently yet powerfully guided you to the specific teachers, illuminating books, or transformative experiences that have ultimately led you to this very point, this present moment of profound encounter. And it is this very same, unfailing grace that continues its sacred work, tirelessly sustaining your profound interest and unwavering dedication, even during those inevitable times when significant challenges and apparent obstacles arise upon your journey. It is precisely because of this profound inner impulse, this divine stirring within, that when you, as a sincere student, encounter a spiritual truth such as the declaration that illness is not an inherent, powersome, deep, intuitive part of your being instantly recognizes or profoundly trusts its veracity, even if your logical intellect remains somewhat unsure or skeptical. You may even have been granted fleeting, yet powerful, glimpses where, in the sacred presence of an enlightened teacher or a skilled healer, an illness truly appeared to lose its grip and power, thereby validating the profound truth of the principle you are learning. Subsequently, you take that profound idea, that seed of truth, and consciously begin to integrate it into your daily practice. Each and every time you are confronted with an appearance of what seems to be evil, harm, or illness manifesting in the world, you silently and firmly remind yourself in its ultimate spiritual reality. This situation, in and of itself, possesses absolutely no true power. Only the transcendent, all-encompassing source is the singular, genuine power that truly exists. This internal affirmation acts as a shield and an anchor. There is absolutely no need to vocalize this truth aloud to others or to engage in outward declarations. Your practice is entirely internal. You simply know it with profound conviction within your own being whenever you witness the manifestation of discord, disharmony, or fear in the world around you. If you diligently persist and remain steadfast in this transformative practice, your consciousness will, with unerring certainty, gradually and powerfully ascend. One day, a profound breakthrough will inevitably occur within your sudden, unmistakable shift in perception or a deep, illuminating flash of understanding. And in that glorious moment, you will exclaim within the deepest recesses of your heart, "Oh, now I truly and experientially see what I previously accepted merely by faith. Now I know this truth through direct, undeniable experience. That perceived challenge or condition possesses absolutely no power over the infinite source residing within me. It will be as if a veil has been lifted where before you were blind to this profound truth, you now perceive with crystalline clarity. The spiritual principle, once merely an intellectual idea residing in your mind, will have profoundly transitioned and blossomed into a vibrant, living reality, deeply rooted within your very heart and soul. This identical, transformative process is equally effective and applicable to all other profound spiritual principles you will encounter. For instance, you might embrace the timeless teaching humanity does not live by bread alone, but by every single word that emanates from the Creator. In profoundly practical terms, this teaching signifies that your very existence and sustenance are derived not solely from tangible material things such as physical nourishment or financial resources, metaphorically referred to as bread, but more essentially by the vibrant, living spiritual energy and divine guidance that continuously flows from the source, which is the word or active will of the Creator. If you consciously accept and internalize this profound principle, Then each time you find yourself ensnared by worries concerning lack or perceived limitation, whether it manifests as the anxious thought, "I don't possess enough money to settle these bills," or the self-doubting conviction, "I genuinely lack the necessary support or inherent talent to accomplish this particular task," you consciously catch that disempowering thought. You then immediately and inwardly counter it with a powerful, silent affirmation, "I am not sustained merely by fleeting material conditions. My very life, in its entirety, is perpetually sustained by every divine impulse and vibrant emanation from the infinite Creator. I declare with conviction, I am not, in my ultimate spiritual reality, dependent upon precarious or limited external resources. My singular, true, and inexhaustible resource is the boundless grace of the divine source itself, which flows unceasingly and infinitely towards me, always." As you consistently and devotedly remember this profound truth in the face of every outward appearance of lack or scarcity, an undeniable and transformative shift will begin to occur within your inner being. You will actively be reconditioning your consciousness, retraining it to place its unwavering trust in the omnipotent source, rather than succumbing to the debilitating fear associated with perceived external conditions. Eventually, a pivotal moment will undeniably arrive when a long-standing inner barrier, previously unseen, simply dissolves, and the profound truth of this statement becomes undeniably real and deeply experiential to you. Suddenly, and often miraculously, you will discover that precisely what you require is manifesting and appearing precisely when you need it, where you will perceive yourself feeling profoundly supported in ways you had never before conceived possible. You will be graced with a tangible, undeniable realization that, indeed, a benevolent higher power is constantly and lovingly providing for your every need. With profound joy and unwavering conviction, you will then be able to declare, "It is truly so." The divine word and the infinite will of the Creator are what intrinsically nourish and perpetually sustain me. Material conditions and their fleeting appearances are not the ultimate authority. The omnipresent, omnipotent Spirit alone holds that final authority over my life. Once this profound realization fully takes root within your consciousness, you will spontaneously begin to live your life with a far greater sense of inner freedom and an undeniable experience of abundance, secure in the unwavering knowledge that the grace of the divine source is, beyond any shadow of a doubt, your truly infinite and inexhaustible resource. Another absolutely fundamental and transformative spiritual principle to deeply internalize is the profound understanding that the one true God, the singular, infinite source of all existence, is not some distant deity, but is actually embodied and fully present within you as your very own life, for say is sacred, indwelling presence, often reverently referred to as the I Am Presence. When sacred scriptures declare, with profound assurance, "I will never leave you nor forsake you," or proclaim, "I am your bread and your water," they are unequivocally speaking from the divine viewpoint of this very inner presence, the I, which is in absolute truth indivisibly one with the Creator. Indeed, the ultimate revelation is simply this: I and the Creator are one. It is this magnificent, indwelling presence within you that inherently contains and is intimately connected to all that the primordial, infinite Creator eternally is. To put it another way, every facet of divine life, boundless love, profound wisdom, and inexhaustible substance of the primordial Creator already exists, fully formed and eternally present at the very core of your sacred being. Therefore, by virtue of this intrinsic inner divine identity, everything that the Creator possesses, you also possess in its entirety. If you truly take to heart and embrace with profound seriousness this sublime truth that the I Am presence dwelling within you is the singular source and very substance of your entire life, you can then begin to cultivate and practice this awareness silently and continuously within yourself. Cherish and treat this profound realization as a sacred, intimate secret shared exclusively between your divine self and the boundless infinite. Every single time an external appearance of lack, perceived weakness, or pervasive disharmony attempts to tempt and sway you, immediately recall and firmly remember this profound truth. Regardless of the specific form the apparent lack seems to assume, whether it be in the realm of financial resources, physical health, creative expression, or promising opportunities, any perceived good that appears to be missing, consciously turn your attention inward and realize with conviction the eternal I Am presence, dwelling vibrantly in the very midst of my being, is the omnipotent source and unfailing provider for this very need. Affirm with unwavering certainty every single thing I could possibly need, both in this present moment and throughout all future unfolding, is already perfectly contained within the limitless expanse of my true spiritual self, which is in absolute essence, indivisibly one with the Creator. As you steadfastly and consistently hold to this profound awareness, you will gradually, yet undeniably, discover that precisely what was previously perceived as lacking begins to spontaneously appear or gracefully unfold in the most natural and harmonious ways. Perhaps the perfect, insightful idea suddenly arises within your mind. A truly helpful and opportune circumstance seamlessly presents itself, or the necessary funds miraculously arrive from a completely unexpected direction. Even the manifestation of money itself can occur in entirely new and surprising ways when you cease to view it as the sole source of your provision and instead profoundly recognize the inner divine source as your ultimate boundless abundance. Always remember and deeply internalize the magnificent divine promise, I came that you may have life, and have it in its most abundant and overflowing measure. This profound statement unequivocally means that the Creator's living presence, indwelling within you, exists precisely to bestow upon you a profoundly rich, vibrant, and utterly fulfilling life. This presence is perpetually ready and eager to pour out infinite blessings upon you. But it is absolutely crucial that you do not inadvertently block this divine flow by exclusively focusing your attention and belief upon transient external conditions. In essence, as long as you steadfastly remain rooted in this profound truth, continually aware that the I Am within you is the singular, inexhaustible source of your life, and trusting this inner reality above all outward appearances or perceived limitations, you will experience no genuine lack whatsoever. Your every authentic need will be met, often manifesting even before you consciously articulate them. And you will discover such an abundance of good flowing into your life that there will be ample, even extra, baskets overflowing with blessings to joyfully share with others. Your cup will indeed overflow, precisely because you are consciously and intimately connected to the infinite, boundless source residing eternally within you. In the initial stages of your journey, it is perfectly understandable and indeed quite common that you may not yet be able to fully and consistently demonstrate these profound truths entirely for yourself. Many individuals, in fact, experience their very first tangible proofs and verifiable manifestations of these principles through the supportive assistance and inspiring presence of an enlightened teacher or a skilled practitioner who is already deeply embodied and is actively living these truths. This process is perfectly natural and entirely normal, much like a child learning the art of riding a bicycle, initially relying on the stability of training wheels or the reassuring guidance of a steady, supportive hand. However, if you steadfastly persist in your dedication and sincerely strive to truly internalize and make these principles deeply your own, a profound and undeniable shift will inevitably occur within your very being. A day will surely come, perhaps quite suddenly and dramatically, or perhaps so subtly and gently that you only recognize its significance in retrospect when a sacred inner door majestically opens within you. In that moment, you may literally experience a sensation of warm energy or a profound expansion in your chest, as if a radiant, living light were spontaneously flowing forth from the very core of your heart. In that profoundly sacred moment of illumination, you will know with absolute, undeniable certainty that the Creator's living presence, the I Am essence, inherently one with the Creator's, truly and eternally at the very epicenter of your being, serving as the inexhaustible source of all harmony, all goodness, and all blessings in your life. This experience marks an extraordinary turning point. You will have magnificently transitioned from merely grasping the truth intellectually to genuinely and completely embodying it within the very fabric of your consciousness. When this transformative event occurs, you will have consciously transitioned from merely knowing the letter of the true, the superficial acquaintance with words and abstract concepts, to truly living and breathing within the vibrant spirit of the truth. In essence, you quite literally become the truth, fully manifest and embodied within your expanded consciousness. Following such a profound awakening, you will find that you no longer require constant affirmations or strenuous mental exercises. Instead, you spontaneously enter a deeply receptive state of profound inner listening. You come to realize with crystal clarity that the indwelling spirit, now consciously and dynamically active within you, will undertake the sacred task of speaking and guiding from within your very being. Your primary role then transforms into one of subtle inner attention and profound receptivity, rather than one of strenuous outer effort. You consistently maintain a posture of silent, unwavering openness to the subtle yet powerful voice of the Creator. And in cultivating this profound receptivity, that magnificent inner presence seamlessly floods your mind, saturates your heart, and permeates your entire life with precisely whatever is needed in any given moment, be it illuminating ideas, clear direction, inner strength, profound comfort, or tangible resources. To live in this manner is a state of being that is incomparably more graceful and profoundly effortless, precisely because you are now being divinely guided from the boundless wisdom within, rather than continually striving and pushing from the often limited and constrained perspectives of the human mind. at a specific and pivotal juncture on this extraordinary spiritual journey, perhaps following a deeply significant illumination or a transformative breakthrough in consciousness. Your entire approach to life profoundly shifts, evolving into a continuous state of living guided by pure, unadulterated inner grace. This profound shift, however, does not in any way imply that you withdraw from the vibrant tapestry of life or cease to communicate altogether. On the absolute contrary, you may find yourself becoming even more profoundly engaged with the world and significantly more expressive. But crucially, this engagement and expression will emanate from an entirely new and divinely aligned source. Instead of acting impulsively from the dictates of human will or reacting defensively from a place of fear, you will now discover yourself being gently yet powerfully moved from within by the guiding impetus of the indwelling spirit. In very practical and tangible terms, when any issue or challenging circumstance arises in your life, whether it be a personal difficulty you face yourself, a request for assistance from another individual, or even a broader community or global concern, you will discover that you now approach and handle it in a profoundly different manner than you ever did before. You no longer rush to analytically dissect the situation with your logical intellect or immediately resort to reciting previously memorized truth statements. Instead, your very first crucial step is to deliberately become still and deeply centered. You then gently close your eyes, either literally or figuratively, and intentionally turn your attention inward, opening your profound inner listening. Your singular, sacred intention in this moment is to allow the clear, benevolent voice of the Creator to naturally present itself within the sanctuary of your consciousness. You might recall the powerful scriptural image: when he utters his voice, the earth melts. Similarly, when the Creator speaks from within the sacred sanctuary of your consciousness, the seemingly solid and intractable difficulties of the external world likewise begin their gradual, yet inevitable, process of dissolution. Within the rich tapestry of your own personal life, you will, without a doubt, experientially discover the profound truth of this statement. Whenever you receive even the slightest glimpse of the inner word, a deeply felt sense of the Creator's precise direction, or a comforting assurance, some discernible part of the external situation invariably shifts. Perhaps a previously hardened attitude softens with compassion, or a long stagnant condition spontaneously frees itself from its inertia. While it may not necessarily resolve every single aspect of a complex situation all at once, each renewed contact and profound communion with the divine source unfailingly breaks through another layer of accumulated error and inevitably brings forth an increased measure of harmony into tangible expression. Incrementally, step by patient step, the intricate balance of your life gracefully tips ever more profoundly towards spiritual resolution, leading to fewer moments of crisis and an ever-increasing flow of divine grace. Furthermore, when you're living in this profound state of grace and someone reaches out to you, appealing for assistance, or when you feel an inner calling to contribute to the resolution of a larger community or global issue, your response will naturally stem from a deep, unwavering trust in the divine source, rather than relying solely on your personal intellect or acquired expertise. Consider, for instance, a scenario where someone earnestly asks you for a healing prayer, or you become acutely aware of a particularly troubling and pervasive world event. In such moments, you immediately recognize, with humble clarity, that your limited human knowledge and capabilities alone cannot truly and definitively fix this situation. Consequently, you instinctively and silently become still, allowing your attention to turn profoundly inward. Very often, as you turn inward, you will experience a profound sense of deep, enveloping peace descending upon you. This sensation, in and of itself, is a clear and unmistakable indication that the omnipotent spirit is already powerfully at work within the situation. At other times, you might receive a direct, unmistakable inner assurance that, despite outward appearances, all aspects of the situation are indeed unfolding within perfect divine order, even if your rational mind cannot yet fully comprehend how. Alternatively, you may distinctly hear or feel specific guidance, manifesting perhaps a particular phrase or a vivid image spontaneously arises within your consciousness, clearly directing you towards some precise and helpful action. In whatever form this divine guidance manifests, you will experience an undeniable and profound certainty that the necessary adjustment, the crucial rectification, has already been entirely accomplished on the invisible, energetic level that it is, in the deepest spiritual sense, done within the realm of consciousness itself. Following such a profound inner communion, you naturally and effortlessly detach yourself from anxious, worry-filled thinking about the problem. You consciously choose not to continue to fret or mentally labor over it. Instead, you place your complete and unwavering trust in what you deeply felt or distinctly heard from the guiding presence of the Spirit. Then, you remain serenely watchful, not from a place of nagging doubt, but rather with a calm, confident expectation, eagerly anticipating how the divine solution will gracefully unfold in the outer world. And indeed, as time progresses, you will unfailingly witness external circumstances spontaneously reorganize themselves in harmonious ways. Healing occurs, profound answers emerge with clarity, and new opportunities, like open doors, present themselves. Whatever is genuinely needed manifests perfectly in alignment with that powerful inner decree of peace and divine order. This, my friends, is the sublime experience of truly living by grace. You perform your profound spiritual work inwardly, within the sacred sanctuary of your consciousness, and then you serenely observe as the omnipotent power of the Source effortlessly brings all things to their perfect, harmonious fruition in your external reality. Now, it is also important to frankly address the inherent variability in the manifestation of results. Even when living from a consistently high state of consciousness, you may still, at times, encounter certain persistent challenges that serve to profoundly test your patience and commitment. For example, some deeply dedicated healers discover that a particular type of illness or a specific recurring problem appears to remain remarkably resistant to resolution for an extended period. While they may effortlessly facilitate healing for numerous individuals, with that one specific category, perhaps a certain stubborn disease or a deeply entrenched pattern, nothing seems to yield until, quite unexpectedly, a much deeper realization or a significant breakthrough occurs within their own consciousness. Following such a profound inner shift, even that previously resistant issue can then be healed readily and seamlessly. It is as if that specific challenge was strategically presented to gently, yet firmly push the healer to ascend to an even higher, more expansive level of consciousness. And once that ascension occurred, the seemingly formidable barrier simply dissolved. On the other hand, it is also entirely possible, though admittedly quite uncommon, that a dedicated practitioner might never personally face a persistent challenge that truly resists their healing efforts, perhaps indicating a consistent, unwavering alignment with source consciousness from the outset. A truly stubborn case. Yet paradoxically, every such profound challenge often unfolds with effortless grace. When circumstances align with such surprising ease, it is not mere coincidence, but an undeniable manifestation of divine grace. Embrace this with a deep sense of gratitude, allowing it to permeate your very being, but crucially, sustain a posture of unwavering humility. The quintessential element, the bedrock upon which all situations find their ultimate resolution and harmonious balance, is the profound interplay of patience and unshakable trust, a quality equally indispensable for both your journey and for those individuals you endeavor to assist on their path. If your dedicated efforts involve working alongside someone who grapples with a persistent, deeply entrenched condition, cultivate within yourself an expansive wellspring of patience that mirrors or even surpasses their own willingness to endure and persevere. Should the individual earnestly seeking your guidance or assistance consistently demonstrate an open heart and an unyielding steadfastness in their pursuit, then you, too, must persist without faltering, holding an unwavering confidence that the desired resolution will inevitably manifest at precisely the divinely appointed moment. However, if circumstances shift and they begin to exhibit signs of impatience, or if they consciously elect to pursue alternative avenues of help, release them from your care with genuine blessings and heartfelt good wishes. It is imperative that you vigilantly guard against the subtle yet pervasive ego trap, the insidious notion that another person's ultimate destiny or spiritual breakthrough somehow rests exclusively upon your shoulders. The Source, in its boundless and infinite wisdom, possesses an unimaginable multiplicity of pathways and methods through which to reach any individual soul. When one particular channel of assistance or connection appears to close, rest assured that another, perhaps entirely unforeseen, will invariably open. You are never, under any circumstances, the sole or exclusive opportunity for another being to receive profound good, healing, or spiritual upliftment. Indeed, you serve as a precious instrument, a conduit for divine energy. Yes, but the infinite, in its magnificent resourcefulness, can always readily discover and activate another instrument, or conceive of an entirely novel method to fulfill its divine purpose. One profound truth that has been consistently observed throughout all spiritual traditions and human experience is this: ultimately, nothing of true spiritual significance can ever be permanently withheld from a soul that, with every fiber of its being, passionately seeks the light. If an individual is imbued with an authentic, unyielding determination to achieve profound healing, to experience complete freedom from bondage, or to attain illuminating spiritual insight, and if they will simply not be denied, then, without question, sooner or later, that person will triumphantly succeed. The journey to success may not always unfold through the very first teacher they encounter, nor through the initial healing modality they courageously attempt, yet their relentless and unwavering persistence acts as an inexorable guarantee of their ultimate victory. Similarly, this principle applies profoundly to your own spiritual journey and service. Diligently cultivate and maintain that same indomitable spirit of perseverance, gracefully harmonized with an equally vital attitude of complete surrender. Come to deeply understand that any perceived delay, any pause in the unfolding of events, is never an ultimate denial, but rather an integral part of a larger, sacred process of unfolding and essential learning. So long as both you and the earnest seeker continually and consciously turn your attention inward to the boundless inner source, the necessary and divinely ordained outcome will unfailingly manifest at the perfect, right time. All these profound insights converge upon a singular, central understanding that forms the very core of spiritual wisdom, no matter what trials, tribulations, or triumphs you may encounter throughout the tapestry of your life. The final, most complete, and utterly satisfying answer is perpetually found in choosing to live in conscious alignment with the inner word and the unmerited grace of the primordial Creator. In the most tangible and practical terms, this profound truth translates into the deliberate and consistent act of creating sacred space within your daily life for deep stillness, a tranquil sanctuary where the subtle, yet unmistakably divine, inner voice can finally be heard, undistorted and clear. Each and every time you intentionally quiet your mind, allowing the magnificent I am within your very being to speak or to subtly move you, you are in essence consciously living in a state of transcendental consciousness. From this elevated perspective, your entire outer life is not merely improved, but profoundly elevated and transformed. To the precise degree that you achieve this profound inner alignment, your entire human experience will be progressively reshaped and beautifully reconfigured to authentically reflect your true, preordained spiritual destiny. When this luminous, divine center within you fully awakens and begins to assume its rightful place as the preeminent guiding force in your life, truly remarkable and often astonishing transformations begin to manifest with graceful inevitability. I myself have been a witness to such awe-inspiring phenomena. For example, I observe an apparently ordinary housewife, seemingly unremarkable in her daily routine, who suddenly accessed her own deep inner light and began to create exquisitely beautiful, soul-stirring music that resonated deeply and touched the hearts of countless people. I witnessed a gifted writer who had grappled for years with the frustrating blockages of creativity finally forge an authentic connection to his inner source, whereupon inspired and recognized work poured forth from him almost effortlessly, garnering significant acclaim. I even saw a shrewd businessman, teetering precariously on the precipice of bankruptcy, undergo a profound spiritual awakening and subsequently observe his various ventures not only recover but flourish almost effortlessly, as if by some invisible guiding hand. Why do such dramatic and often instantaneous changes occur with such profound impact? Because at the very core of your being, each and every one of you carries within you that which different spiritual traditions across the vast spectrum of human history and culture have designated by various sacred names. It is called the inner light by some, reverently referred to as the Buddha mind by others, or simply regarded as the divine spark, the very essence of your being. It is unequivocally the sacred image of the Creator imprinted within you. When that magnificent spark is lovingly fanned into a vibrant, radiant flame, when it finally ignites with uncontainable power, it radically transforms, reconfigures, and rejuvenates everything within the panorama of your life. Your fundamental perspective undergoes a complete paradigm shift. New and previously dormant abilities and talents begin to emerge effortlessly, and even the most stubborn external circumstances realign themselves harmoniously to precisely reflect your soul's grander, higher design. Across the rich tapestry of human cultures and spiritual paths, numerous names have been lovingly bestowed upon the pivotal moment when this luminous inner light first awakens within an individual's consciousness. In the ancient land of India, one deeply revered word for it is Darshana, uniquely blessed and sacred moment of receiving divine light or grace that possesses the power to utterly transform one's entire being. In the profound tradition of Zen Buddhism, this awakening is known as Satoria's sudden, electrifying flash of enlightenment that cuts through all illusion. Within Western mysticism, various terms such as illumination or spiritual rebirth have been employed to describe this profound inner experience. Regardless of the specific label affixed to it, it unequivocally signifies the glorious opening of fourth-dimensional spiritual consciousness within your very soul. To vividly illustrate this transformative shift, consider the journey of a modern messenger of these profound teachings who experienced such a radical transformation in a truly dramatic fashion. In one moment, he was simply an ordinary businessman, completely absorbed and often burdened by the mundane concerns and exigencies of daily life. In the very next moment, without warning, a profound and overwhelming spiritual realization flooded his entire being. In that single, breathtaking instant, he became acutely and undeniably aware of the Creator's omnipresent presence and simultaneously received a miraculous gift of healing. From that pivotal point forward, every aspect of his life seamlessly unfolded from that foundational illumination. It was as if he had, in that moment, sat beneath his own personal Bodhi tree and finally perceived the resplendent light of ultimate truth. Throughout the annals of human history, this same quintessential pattern of sudden, profound spiritual awakening repeatedly appears. Consider the venerable Siddhartha Gautama, who subsequently became universally known as the Buddha, the Awakened One. He devoted many arduous years to the fervent seeking of truth, diligently studying with numerous esteemed teachers and rigorously practicing austere spiritual disciplines. Yet, despite these intense efforts, final and complete enlightenment eluded him throughout those years of wandering and searching. Then, in one solitary night of exceptionally deep meditation beneath the sheltering branches of the sacred Bodhi tree, he finally received the supreme, all-encompassing light of ultimate realization. That singular, transformative enlightenment not only altered his perception, but radically reconfigured his entire being, transforming him from a seeker into a venerable master and enlightened being to whom countless others subsequently gravitated for wisdom and guidance. An entire new teaching, a revolutionary philosophy, and indeed, a new spiritual era arose directly from that man's direct, unmediated experience of truth. The paramount key point to grasp here is that it was not the meticulously learned doctrines or the intellectual knowledge he accumulated that ultimately made him the Buddha. It was the visceral, transformative experience of enlightenment itself that fundamentally changed him and, in turn, profoundly changed the world. Centuries later, another luminous, enlightened soul, carrying this potent inner light, journeyed beyond the borders of India to the distant land of China, and eventually, this light blossomed magnificently in Japan, where it took root and flourished as Zen Buddhism. The revered name of that master was Bodhidharma. Zen, a remarkably fresh and direct expression of Buddhism, placing paramount emphasis on direct, unmediated experience and deep meditation, was fundamentally born for Bodhidharma's own personal, profound enlightenment. Once again, it was the raw, uncontainable power of enlightenment within one extraordinary individual that ignited a vibrant, entirely new spiritual movement that continues to resonate today. Now, let's turn our contemplation to Jesus of Nazareth. A significant portion of his early history remains either lost to antiquity or purposefully veiled in mystery. However, there is compelling evidence to suggest that he, too, underwent a profound and transformative spiritual enlightenment during years of intensive preparation, most likely within a deeply mystical community such as the Essenes. His cousin, John the Baptist, recognized this imminent spiritual grandeur and embarked on his prophetic mission to announce the arrival of someone who was profoundly filled with a magnificent light. All of Jesus' teachings, his miraculous works, and his very being flowed organically from his transcendental consciousness, that exalted state of perfect oneness with the divine source. It was this singular, profound state that empowered him to declare with such authority, "Whoever has seen me has seen the source that sent me," and with even greater profundity, "I and the primordial creator are one." To those who remained unenlightened, such words undoubtedly sounded blasphemous, if a mere man were presumptuously equating himself with the Almighty God. But Jesus was not speaking from the confines of his human ego. He was speaking directly from the eternal, boundless identity of the inner source when he proclaimed, "I am the way, the truth, and the life." He was not, in that profound declaration, referring to the limited human personality of Jesus, but rather to the universal, divine, I am omnipresent Creator's presence within all things, which is indeed the only true way, the absolute truth, and the source of all life. He fervently urged people to recognize that this very same I am this kingdom of heaven was not an external destination, but was profoundly and beautifully within them too. Jesus taught that if you consciously choose to live by this eternal truth, a magnificent moment will inevitably arrive when your own inherent inner divinity will powerfully burst forth from within. It may manifest as a sensation of your heart suddenly opening, allowing a long-imprisoned splendor, a radiant essence, to finally flow freely and gloriously from within your innermost being. This experience is akin to a profound spiritual birth, where the divine, child, the Creator's light, long hidden and dormant, is gloriously born into the awakened landscape of your consciousness. A mystical poet with deep insight once eloquently described it thus: "You must open a way for the imprisoned splendor to escape." That splendor, that profound radiance, is indeed the sacred essence within you that has been confined and obscured by the heavy chains of doubt and the chilling shadows of fear. When it is finally released, you experience the divine within you, revealed in all its breathtaking, unadulterated glory. Until this monumental shift occurs, any words spoken or written about the inner light may unfortunately remain merely beautiful, albeit abstract, concepts. However, if something deep within your very core resonates profoundly when you hear these truths, if some inner, knowing voice whispers a resounding yes and affirmation, then you're already, unequivocally, well on your way. Honor that exquisite inner resonance, allowing it to guide you, live with these potent ideas, integrating them into your daily fabric. Reflect deeply upon them, allowing their wisdom to permeate your consciousness. Practice them with unwavering patience and diligent application. In due course, at the perfect time, you will experience your very own day of profound illumination. When that moment arrives, you will be able to declare with absolute certainty and a heart full of wonder, "I was blind, and now I truly see." You will have transcended the realm of mere belief and ascended into the undeniable territory of actual experiential knowing. This pivotal shift, this profound transformation from simply believing the truth to intimately knowing the truth, is the definitive mark of authentic enlightenment. Throughout this sacred path, guidance has been meticulously provided, step by illuminated step. Initially, you were required to diligently learn and thoroughly practice the fundamental principles, especially those pertaining to spiritual healing and the cultivation of harmonious living, all designed to meticulously prepare and expand your consciousness. Subsequently, you were gently guided to realize the profound truth that the divine child, your authentic, true self, resides eternally within you and is perpetually being raised up into greater expression. Finally, you were instructed to transcend the mere letter of the truth and to live, instead, by the very Spirit itself, in its boundless and liberating essence. It is vitally important to maintain a delicate yet firm balance of this understanding when you are extending help and guidance to others. When an individual approaches you seeking healing or spiritual guidance, you may find it necessary to share certain words of truth, carefully chosen to gently elevate their thinking and perspective. You offer them whatever spiritual principles or reassuring assurances they are capable of accepting at that particular stage of their journey. This compassionate act is akin to offering them spiritual bread, nourishing their souls. For instance, you might gently explain that a divine presence resides eternally within them, or that they are perpetually cared for by an infinitely loving source. Such carefully planted words serve as potent seeds of truth within their minds, destined to sprout and flourish. You may also profoundly support them inwardly by silently holding an unwavering knowing of their true, perfect identity in the Spirit. However, it is paramount that you do not force advanced, complex spiritual ideas upon someone who is demonstrably unready to receive them. And you certainly do not simply command, "Go meditate," without first patiently helping them to genuinely understand the profound why behind such a practice. Always strive to meet them precisely where they are in their understanding and readiness. Offer them the comfort and the insight that they can genuinely receive and assimilate, and simultaneously, silently invite the omnipresent Spirit to work powerfully within them according to their own divine timing. Meanwhile, in the sanctuary of your own personal practice, you should indeed learn to increasingly rely less on mere words and more on direct, unmediated communion with the Spirit. Through the consistent discipline of regular meditation, you diligently maintain your inner channel of connection, keeping it clear, open, and receptive. When your soul's luminous center is vibrantly active and you consciously set aside the clamoring dictates of the ego, the Creator's pure, guiding voice can then speak unimpeded through you as circumstances dictate. In those sacred moments, you become a pure transparency, a crystal-clear conduit for the Creator's benevolent expression. Whether you are offering profound healing to an individual or eloquently speaking to a receptive group, it is never your limited human self that is performing the action. It is the divine intelligence, the Creator's boundless essence, expressing itself harmoniously through your awakened consciousness. Never for a moment forget, however, that this elevated level of clarity, this spiritual transparency, is meticulously maintained only through ongoing, dedicated periods of meditation and profound communion with the indwelling spirit. You simply cannot neglect this crucial inner work and simultaneously expect to remain a consistently clear and effective channel for divine expression. The world's collective thought that immense, pervasive pull of human fear, pervasive doubt, and myriad distractions impacts and subtly affects everyone to some discernible degree, even the most advanced and luminous souls. It is akin to a dense, obscuring fog that can slowly yet surely diminish your spiritual clarity if you do not regularly and intentionally rise above its influence through conscious practice. That is precisely why even the greatest spiritual masters, including Jesus himself, consistently sought regular periods of solitude for prayer and deep meditation. Follow their profound example. Set aside dedicated time daily to consciously renew your vital contact with the Source. And if circumstances permit, periodically undertake longer retreat periods to profoundly deepen your conscious connection to the divine. Even within your daily activities, take frequent, brief pauses, perhaps just a minute or two, to lovingly remember the ever-present inner presence. Over time, through such diligent practice, you will establish an uninterrupted communion, a gentle, pervasive awareness of the Creator's omnipresent presence underlying everything you do, every thought, every action. Then you will truly live in the world, yet authentically not be of it, perpetually carrying a secret sanctuary of profound peace within your very being. Understand also, with profound clarity, that genuine spiritual communion is not about humbly begging the Creator for special favors or specific dispensations. By this advanced point in your journey, you come to clearly perceive that the Source's boundless goodness is akin to the warmth and radiance of sunlight shining universally upon all beings, indiscriminately available to every living thing. The Creator, in its infinite generosity, withholds absolutely nothing. It is only human beings who, through the veils of ignorance or the heavy chains of doubt, fail to consciously receive what is perpetually offered. Thus, the true art of profound healing, or indeed of harmoniously resolving any issue, lies in consciously tuning in to that which the Source is continuously and eternally providing. Those individuals who attune their consciousness more fully and consistently simply experience more of that ever-present, radiant light and abundant grace. It is not that the primordial Creator selectively decides to bestow more upon one person than another. Rather, certain individuals become more profoundly receptive, akin to beautifully open vessels, and thus are capable of catching more of the blessing rain that is perpetually falling. In practical, tangible terms, this profound truth means that the more diligently you meditate and the more consistently you maintain an inner atmosphere of deep listening to the Spirit, the more abundant light will flood not only your own life, but also cascade into the lives of those who surround you. Strive to consciously transform your entire day into a kind of continuous prayer, not by withdrawing from your activities or responsibilities, but by intentionally turning inward briefly and frequently throughout your waking hours. These frequent, conscious pauses, perhaps every hour, or simply whenever you lovingly remember, serve to perpetually keep you aligned with the divine flow. Over time, you will come to live in an uninterrupted communion, permeated by a gentle yet profound awareness of the Creator's omnipresent presence, no matter what activity you are engaged in. Then, you will truly live a life that is distinct and separate from the world's frantic, fearful, and often chaotic mindset. You will walk the very same streets, but with an entirely different, elevated consciousness, fully engaged in the flow of life, yet perpetually carrying the unwavering peace of the Spirit within you. And to the extent that you regularly and consciously expose yourself to the indwelling inner spirit, you will invariably find that you are always abundantly given the necessary wisdom, the boundless love, and the divine power, a radiant light-o, gracefully meet every conceivable situation that arises. Before concluding these teachings, let us precisely clarify your sacred role in your interactions with others. You are not here to be your brother's keeper in a controlling, judgmental, or moralistic way. In other words, as a spiritually awakened individual or as a dedicated healer teacher, your profound work is emphatically not to manage the lives of others, nor to impose your own moral rules or dictates upon them. You are fundamentally here to support them spiritualito, lovingly hold the light for them, not to police their choices or behaviors. Your sacred function is to serve as a compassionate guide, a loving and accepting presence, and a radiant beacon of light. You share spiritual principles with those who are receptive and open, and you offer the profound upliftment of your own consciousness, for example, through silent prayer or deep meditation on their behalf. But after having lovingly offered them all the wisdom and truth that you can, you must, with grace and respect, allow them their sacred freedom. Do not interfere with their deeply personal choices or attempt to directly dictate their lifestyle. It is not your place to say to someone, "You absolutely must stop this habit," or "You must live your life in this specific way," as if you were imposing commandments. That approach, however well-intentioned, operates from a place of personal judgment, which is most assuredly not our spiritual path. Instead, you offer them the precious gift of truth as you comprehend itantly as much as they are genuinely able to accept and integrate, and crucially, you never ever force it upon them. Then you undertake an even more profoundly important act. You steadfastly hold an inner knowing of their true, perfect spiritual identity, and perhaps engage in silent meditation to help raise their consciousness to perceive this for themselves. Essentially, you see the absolute best in them, the divine essence, and you hold firm to their immutable spiritual reality. After this, you gracefully entrust the spirit within them to undertake the transformative work. You release control and simply let go. The Creator's omnipresent presence residing within each person will, in its own divine timing, lovingly take care of whatever needs to be released, purified, or transformed in their life. Therefore, if someone is grappling with a harmful habit or is making choices that appear questionable from your perspective, trust implicitly that as their own inner spirit awakens, those things will naturally and effortlessly fall away if they no longer serve their highest good. You do not need to sermonize, lecture, or moralize. If a person is dishonest or cruel, simply imposing external rules upon them will never, in itself, create true inner integrity or compassion. But if they undergo a genuine spiritual awakening, their heart will fundamentally change, and their behavior will inevitably and organically follow suit. Our sacred responsibility is to lovingly facilitate that awakening, not to play the role of judge and jury.